I'm calling this light body because this is how I'm reaching out with persons, but actually it's like enlightenment, and then after this enlightenment, the person choose a body which aligns to your new energy field, your new frequencies. But what you have to know that here in this realm, what we call duality, here we are experiencing positive, negative, darkness and light. But if you are going beyond of this reality, there is no darkness and there is no light. So here we have these two different poles. If you are concentrating so much to light, then you will experiencing darkness also in your life. Same quantity of light, same quantity of darkness, and they always need to be equal. So that's why we have darkness here in this realm, because we have light. But at the end, there is no light and there is no dark.
Won't you come and take me away? I just wanna be with you. Won't you come?
Hey, welcome to the TruthSeekah podcast. On this episode, I'm speaking with Adrienn Light as we talk about the light body activation. What is it? How do you experience it? How many levels are they? How many different bodies of light exist? We hear so many different things, and I tell you what, one thing that Adrienn brought to the table in this episode is that she made it simple. Keep it simple. Be able to experience it. Be able to not just study, but to encounter it for yourself. The light, consciousness, higher vibrational frequencies, all of that stuff, all of those names are applicable. But one thing that she seems to want to do is to throw those names and those titles out the window so that we can keep it simple. It seems like the names and the titles and the different boxes that we have within our imaginations only help to separate a lot of us because we're married to that box. We're married to that dogma. And if it doesn't fit in this box, then it's not a part of our reality. And so in this awakening process, the ascension process, people are emptying those boxes and throwing them out the window, and we've got a bigger box. So I hope you enjoy this episode. It was a blessing. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and enjoy. Today, my guest is Adrienn Light. Adrienn, welcome to the TruthSeekah podcast, my friend. How are you?
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here with you. So excited.
Oh, for sure. As soon as I found out about you, saw some of your podcasts and some of your other interviews and looked at the information on your website, I was excited to have you on. And so it's good to finally be able to have you on and be able to pick your brain about the light body and ascension and all that beautiful stuff that you bring to the table. And a lot of this is unfolding for me, and we've been focusing on this a lot lately, so I'm ready to have this amazing conversation with you. So for people who don't know who you are, they're new to your work, just kind of give a quick overview, who you are, what you bring to the table, and we'll start there.
Yeah, my name is Adrienn, or Adrienn Living the Light, and I'm a medium in light body activations, also a channeler and an energy healer, or I work with energies. I transform the energy field of the beings who I'm working. So I have my main mission, main service here on Earth is offer my service in these givings, and this special gift what I received.
That's so cool. So when we're talking about the light body, there's a lot of information on the internet about light and how many bodies we have. So from your understanding, how many bodies do we have? Because we understand there's an astral body, a physical body, mental body, etheric body, rainbow body, light body. We hear all these terms. From your understanding, how many light bodies do we have?
Oh, I really like your question because it's so important. See, and there are lots of different illusions and our realities, name how you want. And each reality, there is its trueness. So if we are digging to different bodies, we will see the information from them, and you can study them and know, connect them and work with them consciously. If you are see the bigger picture, it just doesn't matter. Everything is one. And also when I'm working with light body, you know, I name this and I call it as light body because somehow I need to use some definitions to arrive to others. But I don't like this expression, or I don't use it as a name how others use it. When you enter to different bodies or you connect to a light body, then lots of times the ego enters. Light body, when we use this definition, these words, it's a human created word. And if you're starting to ask different persons from light body, each person will give you different information from it. And everybody experience a different way and also express it a different way. So if you start to connect to different beings who says they are aligned to their light body, what you will see is all the different beings are different and there is no same person. So regardless of sticking ourselves to the different definitions and want to reach something which is just a range here in this realm. Here in this realm, we're experiencing separation, and also we put everything in different boxes, and also they are lower and higher. So lots of time when I use light body, people think that it's higher than a three-dimensional body. And here again comes the ego that I want to reach that consciousness, I want to reach that body. I rather call a light body a consciousness, and how I'm teaching and how I'm receiving it's a state of consciousness. And it comes after an enlightenment, a spiritual enlightenment, an awakening process. And when your spirit awakened enough or reached a certain kind of consciousness, then your spirit is not able to connect anymore to a normal three-dimensional body. So you start to manifest yourself through a light body, and you project yourself here in this reality through this body. But what you have to seek first, it's an inner process, a spiritual devolution, evolutionary process. And then when you have this awakening moment, automatically you connect to your light body, and after this you will experience life through it. And yes, there are lots of difference between a three-dimensional body and a light body, what I will share also. What is this? But I really like your question that you started with this and you pointed out this because it's so important. People lots of time want to reach a goal and want to arrive somewhere. And you know, when you receive something or you reach something, then you're still disappointed and you're still not feeling it complete because you just saw the goal and you're seeing that if you reach something from the external, then you will be different. But always the inner process is the most important. The path is the most important. And if you're not seeing inside, and if you are not dealing your inner world, then you cannot develop. Here in this realm, we cannot we cannot jump one step. So you cannot leave one class saying that, oh, I don't like it, and let's see the next one. You need to go through all the steps to can reach more and more and more and more. So if you're struggling with something here in the three-dimensional reality, it means that there is something to learn It means that still you need to transform something, learn, experience something. And actually, light body consciousness contains the three-dimensional consciousness also. So it's not something that you are self-aware with your life and you just want to tap into another life, or you want a light body because you want to get superpowers. You really need to see inside what is the process, and light body, it will be just a byproduct of this inner process, what you automatically will receive. And also there are different situations when somebody tap into this consciousness, the light body consciousness, and then falling back to the three-dimensional consciousness. Because if you still have things on this three-dimensional consciousness, reality, then you will flip back until you're not resolving it, until you're not learning it. And then later you can align again to the light body. But it contains all the different lower bodies if you are thinking in linear. But here, just in this dimension, in this illusion, we are thinking linear. At the end, everything is one at the same time. But here we experience like this, that now we put the attention here, and now this is who we are. This is what we are experiencing. And like this, you are putting yourself in different boxes.
So it sounds like with an overview, with a word or a term as light body, you're making it simple, and it encompasses all of the bodies, if you will, which tend to make it harder and more study and more research, and we gotta go through the text. So understanding the light body or consciousness is really all you need, right? You just need to be able to bring your conscious awareness to it and control all of the different aspects of your psyche, of your mental body, physical body, chakras, all of that, just with this overview as a light body. Is that kind of what you're saying? Just it's making it very simple.
Yeah, exactly. You can study, for example, why it's raining, or just see the rain and enjoy the rain and be one with the rain. Yes, you can pass all your life studying why it's raining. And yes, you will find the scientific way and the different theories, and you can pass your whole life studying this. And then it's real, it's there, it's an option what you can choose. But there is another option also. I don't care why. I don't care about the scientific explanation. The only thing what I feel is it's raining, and I become one with the rain, and I feel the energy of the rain, and I feel the essence of the rain. And I think the person who decides this way connect more with the rain than scientifically studying the rain in a laboratory. So when you can open yourself, and you can do it in any place. So this is also the magical thing in all of this. It's up to you. You can open yourself and experience the essence of everything. And with the light, but it's also, yes, I know there are lots of different definitions, but at the moment when we are entered to science, when we are entered to definitions, we want to explain the energies. We want to explain something which is not physical. So we are experiencing things here which is not physical, and life itself is not physical, and we try to put them in boxes and to different definitions and try to prove them with science. But there are lots of things what you cannot still show or study through science. And it's again, yes, you can enter the different bodies and study the different bodies. And I know that here in humanity, there are lots of different bodies. If you believe in it and if you put attention there, yes, you will experience the astral body, the crystal body, the rainbow body, and you will feel the different bodies. And now you align here and now I align there. So your mind is capable to create all the different illusions. It's up to you. And also when I'm speaking about light body, and when I'm working with my clients and I'm connecting them to it, I start all the retreats with this. Okay, forget light body. There is no light body because it's limiting you. And then what if during the retreat somebody receives the crystal body and the other the light body? You don't know what you receive. You need to open yourself, and the path is always more important than find a definition that now I have this, now I have that. It doesn't matter how you call it.
What is the purpose of the light body? What is so, what does the light body do, and why would someone seek out a light body activation?
um, Beings who come to my retreat, they are preparing or seeking this moment through lifetimes. So a person, so I start to work, and even I'm working online through sessions, but the persons who are coming to the retreat, they are preparing to this retreat through lifetimes. So imagine this, it's like a rebirth. It's like an evolutionary jump. It's a very significant moment in your karmic incarnational circle, in your karmic, karmic process. So normally spirit stacked, a soul stacked into a karmic incarnational circle. And you are doing this circle and again coming, incarnating again. You are learning little bit, developing. And then comes the moment when you come to the retreat, and then you are liberating yourself from all this karmic circulation. And also you are experiencing this liberation and this completeness. It's like you are arriving home. You are connecting to your true essence. You start to remember who you are, and you are experiencing and feeling your true essence. And the point to experience this, your soul is preparing for this moment through lifetimes. It's like an awakening, enlightenment. And regards to through this process, through this inner process, what you will experience that automatically your three-dimensional body cannot vibrate anymore with your being, and you are manifesting a higher frequencial body. It's like a vehicle or like a mobile. When you change your old mobile and you get a new one, and the new one, you can do lots more stuff, and it's quicker and know a lot of more things than the old one. So it's very similar what's happening. And yes, what is the main difference between the two consciousness? The three-dimensional consciousness, the being, lives in the separation, never feel complete itself, always in a state of needness, always circulating, flowing from the external to the internal. So what all these things means on the physical realm. So the person doesn't remember who is he or she, doesn't have the true connection to source, doesn't living in a completeness, which means always in a needness state. A normal three-dimensional consciousness being needs to eat, needs to drink, needs to work to have money, needs to go to the gym to shape the body, needs a vacation to relax, and needs to have friends to feel valuable, need to have a partner to feel loved. And I could continue. If this being happens any kind of physical symptoms, which is not normal, humans call illness, illness symptoms. So the being doesn't connect, not connected, don't know what happens with the body. So when somebody has different symptoms, they really have lots of fear because they don't have connection with their own physical being. And what they are doing, they need doctor, they need different persons to heal them, or to help them, or to say them what's happening with them. And the contrary, when somebody owns the light body consciousness, always experiencing the completeness, and the energy field, how it flows of these persons is from inside to outside, which means I'm expanding my energy to outside and I'm not receiving from the external. I'm always in a complete state, so I don't need food to fulfill myself, to nurture my body. If I want to shape my body, I don't go to the gym. I'm just working energetically on my being, and like this, I'm shaping my body and I'm changing my presence. Uh, if I'm always connected to source, so I'm seeing above the matrix. I'm seeing above of this illusion. I know the answers. I know when I'm speaking with somebody, and if I'm connecting to the person, I know the history of that being. I know the past lives. I know the mission of that person. So all these details coming to me. Also, I see which part of her body or his body struggling. So I also can help in this way. And if I have any kind of physical symptoms, I know why I have, and I also know how to change it. So I never use any physical external thing to change my physical symptoms or my things. Everything when I'm working on myself, I'm working on an energy field and not working on a physical field. So anything what I want to change or reach or receive, I'm just doing my meditation and I'm working energetically instead of go to the denser energy part and do physical actions to it. And
So,
also the vibrate. One more thing,
okay.
sorry. Also the vibrational field, it's much higher, quicker, it's closer to the oneness. So the projection or the manifestation speed, it speeds up. Then when somebody is in a denser frequencial field, then there are lots of struggles as projecting and manifesting what the being wants. And also normally those beings doesn't know what they want, because maybe they want something from their mind, but it's not aligned to their spirit.
It sounds like the light body is the true self, the soul or the spirit, the true self, and activating the light body is seeing through, seeing it as it really is versus through any type of lens in the matrix or persona or any anything externally, anything that would taint that. It seems like activating the light body and this light body consciousness is to connect with your higher self, which is who you really are. And many things in this life serve as an illusion to that, so you're not able to see. Does that make sense? Is that kind of what's going on? So a light body activation is just you being able to see yourself as the light body, the light being that you really are, and not yourself, but everyone else around you as well.
Yes, it's a very good insight, and some part, yes. So automatically, when you do this, you discover your true self, and you are aligning to this energy. You know, here in this realm, we all plays a role, and we have different roles here.
Mm-hmm.
The same when actress do a movie, same what we are doing here. When you connect to your true essence, then you feel a immense inner peace, and you feel yourself as arriving home, and everything when you had questions got answered. The other thing about, yes, we are speaking about light body, and normally person thinks that okay, then it's light. But there is again comes the very interesting thing, and this is what I say that I'm I'm calling this light body because this is how I'm reaching out the persons. But actually, it's like an enlightenment, and then after this enlightenment, the person choose a body which aligns to your new energy field, your new frequencies. Uh, but what you have to know that here in this realm, we call duality. Here we are experiencing positive, negative, darkness and light. But if you are going beyond of this reality, there is no darkness and there is no light. So here we have these two different poles. If you are concentrating so much to light, then you will experiencing darkness also in your life. Same quantity of light, same quantity of darkness, and they always need to be equal. So that's why we have darkness here in this realm, because we have light. But at the end, there is no light and there is no dark. So yes, I call the audience to understand more beyond the words than grabbing the words and say, okay, light body, then this is like this and that. Understand beyond and what it means. It's like a consciousness, a state of consciousness, and a state of frequency, how your body vibrates. And yes, if I need to translate it to the human language, this is what fits the best to it. But as it's not physical, it's hard to explain with physical words.
And I like the fact that at the beginning you mentioned the ego kicks in. You know, the ego is this person that has it all figured out and can kind of break it down into many different teachings and books. And it kind of complicates it. And what I really resonate with what you're talking about, you seem to want to make it easy for people and not talk over somebody's heads or whatever. It's something that you can, and not even learn. Learning is one thing, but experience it. Experience bliss, experience who you really are. And the beautiful thing about that is because once you experience it, nobody can take that away from you. Nobody can talk you out of it and tell you, no, that's not real. Like, no, you can't tell me it's real because I've experienced it and I do experience it. I live in it and I understand it's who I am. And that's why this is so valuable, because you need nothing outside of yourself when you activate this, right?
Exactly. Uh, you can pass again your whole life reading different books, searching on internet to different information, and you will never have the feeling that okay, I know everything, because there is no end there.
Yeah.
Rather, dedicate your time to seeing inside instead of reading books and searching different details on internet, and try to understand something what you cannot understand through your physical mind, instead of feeling it and experiencing it from inside. So it's very similar when we speak about love. What is love? You cannot explain it. What is love?
Mm-hmm.
And again, you can pass your whole life studying love and try to find a perfect definition for it, but you will be so far from it. You just need to close your eyes and feel inside. And when you feel a true divine love, you cannot express it with physical words because it's just impossible. And maybe you try, but you cannot give it to others. Others cannot understand through words this. And another very interesting thing and beautiful thing, what you mentioned, that what you experience, nobody can take out of you. It's already you. So when you reach a certain kind of consciousness, it's yours, and nobody can take out of you, and you won't forget it. You already have it, and this is the true gift, and this is the true accomplishment. But until, if you want to reach it through ego or through the physical realm, you cannot. And yes, you can reach this from anywhere and anybody if you open yourself and you are open to experience who you are.
Now, experiencing the light body, is there a lot of different ways that we can do that? You say go within and experience love. Is there many, music, meditating, prayer? It seems like a lot of things that we can do um, to maybe experience an aspect of the light body versus it for who we really are. So there's different things that maybe remind us of an aspect of it. Um, what are some of the things that you would do to experience it, such as an activation? Like what actually takes place in an activation to experience that?
There are two main differences also between light body consciousness and three-dimensional consciousness. Three-dimensional consciousness, every being has a subconscious part and a conscious part, and they are living their life like this. And they are carrying a very big baggage back, which what we call subconscious mind or subconscious part. When you're aligned to this consciousness, how I say that you are arrived home, you're connected to the source, you see everything and you understand everything. From that point, you don't need to read books, you don't need to search for answers because you can download all the information what you need. And at that point also disappears subconscious. There is no subconscious part. You are conscious everything what happens inside and around you. And the other main difference is the heart center. A three-dimensional consciousness, the being has a closed heart center. And why? Because there happen lot of things through lifetimes and lifetime, and they're not capable to digest all these things what happens, all these traumas, all these events. So what they are doing, they close their heart center to not feeling them. As I cannot process, as I cannot face front, I will close this door like this, I won't feel it, and I forgot about it. But you cannot. You are carrying in your energy field. So you cannot escape from anything. And these things energetically, they are working and working and working in your body and in your being. And that's why you're struggling, you're feeling that something not flows, and you don't know what's happening. So there is your baggage, what is there. And you don't know it because and it's a self-protection. Your body always wants the best for you. So if you have very big pain in your body, to protect yourself, automatically close to not feeling it in your everyday life. But of course, there is in the subconscious mind, and it's always like a nightmare going with you. And sometimes, yes, you are not ready or you are not capable to deal with all these things, and it's not time. So in this case, these things are sleeping. Maybe in another incarnation, you will get them and they're starting to awaken and sending you signs to see there and process that even. You need to process everything, what happened, and not just in this life, all your past lives also. What was your question more?
So what would happen in an activation, light body activation?
Yeah. I'm working as a channel, and through me, through my presence, happens this activation. So when the beings come to the retreat, it's a 7 days presential retreat, and at the beginning we start to prepare the three-dimensional body for this switch. And then we have a moment, the ceremony, when we have an exact activation. I'm working there as a channel, and through me works all these activations. And then after, the being starts to grant this new being, because it's again a very important process. You receive a new being. It's like a baby. You need to know this new system, you need to grant this new energy, and you need to understand how it works and align your spirit with this new body. It's so important also. So like this, you can feel what is yours, and when you finish the retreat and go back to your life, which will change. I'm so sorry, but all the participants who came to the retreat, their life changed afterwards. And it's again because as you are changing, the surroundings also are changing, and it affects them also. And it's so good because like this, you can help to your family members to lift them up and illuminate their lives also. So yes, it's so important to be prepared, have to go back to life and be good align this new body and this new system and understanding how it works. So I also giving techniques and teaching the participants how they can go back to life and live with this new system.
So when you talk about how you're a channel and channeling, most people think of channeling deceased relatives or information or from disembodied spirits. You mean you are a channel or a conduit for the light and for the higher self, right?
For sure. So I'm not dedicating myself as dark, because how I'm saying that beyond of this reality, there is no light and darkness.
Okay.
It's source energy. Yes, I'm a conduit of the source energy, of source consciousness. And when I'm connecting there through the participants, who are next to me, and I'm working with their energy field, I'm transforming their body, transforming their energy field. And like this happens, this activation.
Have you ever heard of the term God body?
Yeah, I heard it, but I didn't enter to it. I didn't put attention there.
Does it resonate with the same thing with some of these different terminologies that we use, different for the bodies? Light body, God body, kind of stuff.
I don't like to enter to definitions, and I ask everybody to not try to fit into somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I also ask you, when I'm speaking from light body, not think just in light body, understand more what it means. And like this, you can name whatever body what you want.
Yeah. Does it help to find what tradition that person is from at all and maybe use their language? Or do you say that you need to lay that language down, which is laying dogma down for a lot of religious dogma and beliefs that aren't healthy? Is the idea just to abandon that and kind of step into the light, just making it really simple and unlearning? Because that's a process, right? Unlearning what we thought was true, but it's not who we really are.
Yes, it starts with a lot of unlearning. When you start to observe a normal three-dimensional body, what you will find there, a lot of programmation, and you just running these programs. So yes, definitely, you need to clean yourself. You need to drop off everything, all the programs, also the programs who you are, or who thought that you are.
Yeah.
And it's again a very tricky thing, and just experiencing that you are nothing and you're nobody, and there where you experience the magic, there where you experience who you are,
who you really are. That's good. When did this become real for you? How did you awaken it? What was your experiences at the very beginning for you to know that there was something beyond our five senses, and how we can encounter it or interact with it?
Yes, my history comes from very, very far away, and I'm not a normal incarnation, although here now I'm living a normal life. And also the importance of my incarnation is to show to people that every enlightenment you can reach everywhere. You don't need to go to different places. You don't need to leave your job and your life and meditate all your life. You can experience enlightenment in the middle of a mall, in a supermarket and see beyond of all this illusion. So now in this incarnation, I'm living a normal life. I'm a mother of two beautiful girls, and I have a husband also. Uh, but if I'm connecting who I am, I'm not ordinary soul and spirit, and I have a very big background of spirituality, and all my incarnation I worked as a master or as a different healer or in service always of source. So this is not new for me. But yes, it was new in a terms that I wasn't conscious about it until 2016, when I experienced the spontaneous awakening enlightenment, when I realized who I am, where I come from. And yes, before that, I was always interested in spirituality. I was searching and tried the different meditations techniques, and I was reading a lot of spiritual books. But then when this spontaneous awakening, enlightenment happened in my life, aligning my true self and I understand who I am. And also at that point, from that point, I experiencing this new body through that I'm projecting, manifesting myself here in this realm. And also I received and still receiving a lot of gifts or different possibilities or different powers to help or be in service here in this realm.
How was that like when you had the spontaneous awakening? Where were you when it happened?
So actually, I was at home and I decided to do a retreat by my own. So I started to meditate, but at that time my girl at that time had 2 years. So I had like 3 hours every day when I could be by my own. Other part I was with her. And I decided to do this retreat, and I meditated during 3 hours when I wasn't with her. I did it through 1 week, but at the first day when I sat in meditation, I just experienced this enlightenment when I lost my old self and opened everything, and all the information just fell down. And also I received how I liberate myself from the all energy field where I were connected before, who manifested my old self here in this realm, and I received a whole new energy field, and then everything changed. So everything, I couldn't see the same way the things. I couldn't see the same way the buildings, the people around me, the different
Was that
objects.
scary at first, or was it easy? Was it an easy transition, or was it pretty? Did it seem like scary psychosis? Because for a lot of people, it seems that way, right?
Maybe it could be like this,
It
but
was good for you. It
wasn't
was
that.
just a beautiful transition for you.
Yeah, as I'm saying that I did it a lot through different incarnations, and I'm coming with a background, which is where I was always doing this job, what I'm doing. So it wasn't new. Um, I knew that at the time and place, I knew that I'm in a very big place, and I just enjoyed the process. It was so beautiful.
That's awesome. So good, so good. Well, Adrienn, thanks for coming on and hanging out with me. Let people know a little bit more about your retreats and the activations and how people can follow your work and what you got going on.
Oh, thank you so much. I really enjoyed connecting with you, and I really enjoy your questions. I really like it because it helped me a lot to speak from things what is really matters, and also I'm seeing and receiving that you are understand what I'm speaking. So
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
very
Thank
good.
you. I'm a student myself, so yeah.
Yeah. So everybody who is interested can contact me. I'm guiding a membership program where I have 1.5 hour webinars live each month, and I'm channeling different informations every month. So it's so interesting. And also I have a meditation in the session where I work the energy field of all the participants. I'm doing one-by-one sessions also if anybody needs. And also I have a very beautiful process. It's a preparation process for the online process when we start to prepare ourselves to this switch to the light body activations. This process, it's so intense, it's so powerful, and the beings who are doing it, they're receiving different gifts when they finish these 4 days. So I'm just amazed after every process, and every process is unique and every process is different. But it's sure that all the participants who are doing them has just changed, transformed. And then, yes, I have the retreat presence here, retreat light body activation itself. And it is just an amazing gift for everybody who comes there. And a gift for me also to experience the connection with the beautiful beings who are there. So, yes, I'm feeling so blessed to can be this service.
Such an inspiration and such an honor to be able to facilitate that for people. So I know that that you're enjoying this incarnation now, being able to help people experience that. So awesome. Adrienn, thank you so much for coming on. Really enjoyed our conversation, and we'll have to do it again. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it.
Looking forward. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
All right, my friend. Thank you. Shalom. Wow. Shedding layers. Being able to see your true self, who you really are. It's interesting. It is able to see yourself as God sees you, as a manifestation of love, as a manifestation of grace. We identify ourselves by what we can see, touch, taste, and hear, and the projections, but that's not who you really are. The shell, the outer layer, the outer core is not where we're supposed to arrive at. It is the inner part of man, of who we really are. And many of us are known by our personas and this outer shell, but it's not who we are. Your true self, your higher self, which is your perfected self that is seated with Christ right now in heavenly places. That's who you really are. And we're experiencing life. And so shedding through these different layers of who we are or who we thought we were and those things. And it makes sense when the scripture says that man judges by the outer appearance, but God judges the heart. He knows who you really are inside. And so if we can become that, if we can wear our heart, our essence of who we really are on the outside, man, that's where peace comes. That's where all the bliss resides, is that we don't have to be a hypocrite and picking up beliefs and repeating narratives and things to try to feel complete, or that we fit in with certain people. Listen, I am authentically me. I am unashamed of who I am, and I don't need anyone's approval. I don't need anyone's permission, but not in arrogance, not in to be boastful, but to know that you are content in your skin, you're comfortable. Scripture says that godliness with contentment is great gain. To be content, to enjoy this life, and know that you don't need anything outside of you to make you happy or to complete you, that you are content with who you are and where you are. And I think that contentment, I think that divine inner knowing of who you really are allows you to experience life and experience it more abundantly. And the beautiful things that God has put here, that the Creator has put here for us to experience, and emotions and all of that we can just be excited, we can feel, instead of try to escape, and go to this place of where everything's okay. Listen, everything is okay. Know that. But be present with people. Be present in conversations. That's, when we talk about contentment, like, you're in the now moment. You're here. You're present. In your conversations, in your mind, you're aware of your surroundings, of the small things that you take for granted. And most of the time, we don't project our awareness to those things until they're taken away. We take things for granted until they're gone. So the contentment and godliness and perfection and love and light is to be in this place where we see everything as an extension of ourselves, as an extension of God, and even a portal to God. The grass, the ground, the sun, the moon, the stars, don't worship those as God, but see them as an emanation of God. See each other as an emanation of God. And so when you do that, you find yourself at peace with all beings. And I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. No matter what situation I find myself in, I can find contentment. And I have the grace and I have the strength to make it to and make it through any storm, any trial, any tribulation. And I know it's easier said than done. It's hard to identify that when we're going through it, but such is our faith, that when your faith is tested, it proves what we really believe when it's tested, when we're going through this stuff. So rejoice when trials and tribulations come upon you, because it is a place where you can prove what you believe. And when you do that, it is a test that opens up the door to that next level of light. That is enlightenment. That is ascension. Again, bringing light to your body, activating the light body. And how do we do that? Again, I think that these discussions and these podcasts really open up the door for us to explore, which is amazing. And we need to do that. And I'm glad that we have the liberty to explore. And she mentioned the rain. It's like trying to describe the rain. And there's like meteorologists that can study the rain and tell you, or try to guesstimate when it's going to rain, how much rain we're going to get. There's scientists that can tell you, they study the clouds to know when it's going to rain, and the water, but there's so much more. There's, we can use that same rain. We can hold out our hands or have a cup or something and gather the rain and drink it as sustenance. So there's another relationship with the rain. There's the playing in the rain. Thinking of Nell from that movie Nell, when she was like, play in the wind, playing in the wind. Listen, play in the rain. When's the last time you did that? Physically, but spiritually, really. Because the difference between the scientist that's trying to explain it and the person actually experiencing it, see, there's two different realms there. And I think the beauty is when we marry the two realms, when you're able to play in the rain, but also study it, because there's an appreciation, because your mind immediately goes to all of the equations and you get to feel it. You get to feel the bliss. And that's contemplation. That is the deeper, intricate knowings to be able to appreciate. And not everybody can do that, but I really do. I am for the marriage of the two, marriage of the study, but also the marriage of the expression and the experience, because you got to have it. That's what changes things for people. Like a lot of people study this stuff. A lot of people study the Bible and they study God and they study theology. Well, God is calling you to experience theology, experience God, experience these realms. That is the difference. It's the game changer. It is the Pharisees who were the keepers of the law, the students, and they study the law. Jesus is like, listen, I am the law. Those things that you've been studying are right here with you right now, and you don't see it. You would think if you were a student and you've given your life over to study, you can see, oh wow, yeah, this is everything we've been studying. He's the embodiment of it. And he's teaching us how to to become that thing that we're studying. And so that is a deeper song and dance. That is a deeper mystical revelation. It is the mystery revealed as the light within you and the light outside of you and the light in others. But that student who is only able to study but not able to see it or experience it when it's there with you. Jesus and Paul and many of these other guys were students of the word. They were devout in their faith. They were men of understanding. But there was many who came to follow who weren't, who were rough around the edges, who were fishermen and who were tax collectors and all of these different professions of people who weren't learned men. Because as we read the scriptures, we see that those are the people that God was looking for. People that couldn't boast in their philosophy. They couldn't boast in their training. They couldn't boast in their college degree and education. They could only boast in God. And so Christ went and he identified people who would know that he can show himself strong in. And you have people who were demon possessed, people who were blind, who couldn't see. What are they going to boast in? I learned how to heal myself. No. There was someone when I was at rock bottom and I couldn't see, he helped me see. When I couldn't use my legs, he helped me stand. This is what it's about. Not being able to boast in your study, but being able to approach it. Approach the kingdom, experience the kingdom. The word kingdom is realm, kingdom of heaven. Kingdom of heaven, realm of heaven. Heaven is spiritual, etherical planes. So you can experience the realms of the ethers, kingdom of heaven, as a child, as a student, or as one who is unlearned. As one who is unlearned. And I remember reading that scripture just yesterday, I believe it was, where Jesus says that you got to become like a child to enter into the kingdom. You have to become like a child to experience it. Because you got to close your book and come in, get in the rain, experience it. And that's what the children are doing. The grown folks aren't out there dancing, and it just isn't happening, but it needs to. It needs to for sure. And that's the analogy, to become as a little child. And I was breaking that scripture down, becoming like a child. And even when Jesus says, like, any of you out here that would cause these children to err, to cause these children to stumble, it would be better for you to tie a great millstone around your neck and jump into the ocean and sink to the bottom. It would be better for you to do that than to cause these little ones who believe in me to error. And I'm big on this. A lot of teachers who talk down to people. There's a lot of people who try to confuse you. There's works and books out there that pretend to be holy books that were created to throw you off and to deceive you. And it deceives many people, and it complicates the grace of Christ. It complicates the simplicity of the gospel. And now it's so complicated. And it complicates it so that you can't experience it. And I'm breaking down that word. I go back to the Greek. I say, what does he mean by these little children? Who are these little children? And how do we approach the kingdom as these little children? We're thinking of little kids. Most of us think of little kids. And for sure, because there's this trust issue. They just simply trust. You got to remember where you were when you were little. But little and believed in him when you were. Where you were when he found you. When he called your name. And everything was new, everything was simple, everything was fresh. It didn't become stagnant. It didn't become about rules and regulations and theologies and doctrines. And listen, so many people there. They start off in the faith, but because of the cares of the world and the deceitfulness of riches and the ability to debate and articulate these great biblical truths, they've lost the simplicity. They've lost the light. They're speaking about the light. They're great oracles of the light. They can tell you about experiences and break it down, but their encounter with the light is null and void. It doesn't exist. Their encounter is only an intellectual encounter. And I'm not against it. Trust me, I'm a student. I love tearing this stuff up. But Christianity, religion for the sake of religion, Christianity without the Holy Spirit is dead, empty religion. It means nothing, and it gets really, obviously look how Christianity was spread in the past, and people won't even touch it because of knowing that. But you got to know those weren't spiritual men. Those weren't men who were connected to the light by any means. So that shuts the door. That turns it off for a lot of people. Getting back to the simplicity. What does it mean as a child? Childlike faith. Yeah. But what else does it mean? I broke the word down, and another word for becoming like these little ones who believe in me. There was another word that was used there, and it's become like an immature Christian. What? An immature believer. Become immature. What does the scripture say? It says, I will dance, I will follow him and become undignified. And I believe it was David who said, listen, I'm going to become even more undignified than this. You haven't even seen the beginning. I'm going to keep this simplicity, and I'm going to do things that stir it up. I'm going to listen to things that remind me of where I was when I fell in love with them. I'm going to listen to teachers who keep it simple and who bid me to go into the secret place, who bid me to experience the things of God. Not that talk about other experiences unless it is a welcoming song and dance to come into. I'm studying the saints of old right now, and their encounters were amazing. Otherworldly encounters with the Lord and with the Holy Spirit and Christ. And it's not they were really spiritual people. No, the really spiritual people is a bid, taste and see that the Lord is good, that this light that you can experience, that is who you really are, to move through any of these masks that we wear, which again is the definition of being a hypocrite. Is a person who wears many masks, and you have to be different things around other people. Now there's a fine line there, because Paul says become all things to all men so that we can win some. But with that being said, we're mission minded. There is a purpose behind all of this. Behind every conversation, every move is a calculated step, if you will. So being able to approach it as an immature Christian. Come on. Those people that once you become learned, you look down on those people. If you guys knew what I knew, you would be, if you studied what I studied, if you knew about this, then you wouldn't be happy. You would be, and there's a heaviness. I lost my joy. I used to have joy. Listen, I'm gonna keep the joy, and you got to do things and set things up in your life so that you're reminded of the joy, reminded of the peace. Not just, let's break it down in the scriptures and in theology, and I love it. But if I'm not, that's only just to open a greater door for me to encounter it in my life. That's all it is. Just to get lost in the mystery, but to be embraced in the simplicity that I'll never leave you, never forsake you. I'm here. I want to hang out. I want to talk. Just like those immature Christians. That's where the beauty is, man. Get that back in your life. I hope that these words are light. I hope that these words are life unto you, and that you seek out that path, that you get hungry and you remember where you came from. And if you've never experienced this, if this is brand new to you, listen, experience it now, the bliss and the beauty of God, that there's nothing that can separate you from that. You need nobody's opinion. You need nobody's approval. That you can deal with God. You can speak to God, come upon your own free will and encounter Him. He's ripped the veil for us to boldly approach the throne of grace in the privacy of your own home. That's the most powerful message ever. I don't need anything that they're selling me. I don't need anything outside of me. Hence was the message of Adrienn Light today, that you don't need any of the labels. You don't need any of the other stuff, that I'm complete. I have a wellspring of life within me. Within me is the kingdom of heaven. In me dwells all things. Experience that today. Pray, meditate. Yes, read, because when you read about these testimonies and things, it shows you what's possible. And once you know that something's possible, then you can encounter it. Then you can go deeper into it. So for sure, marry the two, join the two. Even with the immature Christian, yeah, it is the goal. The scripture does say to, now that we're not babies anymore, we're to eat, we're not just drinking milk, we're eating strong meat. But it is the marriage of the two. It really is. And that's a mystery. But that's a mystery to be explored. And I hope that you take a step in that direction and explore it. It's so good. Taste and see. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Really enjoyed this discussion, man. Just talking about light, the light body, ascension, activation. I love that stuff, man. Thank you so much for hanging out. Man, thank you guys who believe in my work. This is a listener-supported, listener-funded show. It doesn't exist without your help. So I always want to say a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart to all of you beautiful people out there who believe in what I do, who back me and support me, and they partner with this ministry. You partner with these efforts here, and we're seeing much fruit in it. So thank you. I don't come on here and brag about all of the messages into people's lives that are transformed, but I think most of you know, because you're one of those lives. You're one of those souls that has been touched with whether it's God's presence, whether it's to know that you're not alone. I don't know what it is, but it's something that you got out of it. Thank you for partnering with me and allowing me to continue to do this. It's not possible without your help. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. I want to say a huge thank you to some of the following patrons who has just joined the last 2 weeks or so. I'm going to give a shout out to Sean Edwards. Thank you for coming on, Sean. Your support means the world. Thank you so much. Laura Supede. Thank you, Laura, for coming on. Great to meet you, my friend. Cynthia Gay. Thank you for coming on, Cynthia. Again, your support means the world. And Chanel Sherry. Thank you for coming back, my friend. Again, thank you so much. Means the world. Listen, if you'd like to support, go to patreon.com/TruthSeekah. You get access to a lot of really cool stuff. I've got my entire discography of music there. The stuff that's not on iTunes and Spotify and all that, but it is on my Patreon. Also, the Mystic Circle webinars that we've done are available too. Those archives are there. My entire archive of guided meditations are there as well. So much stuff, behind the scenes courses and interviews and a bunch of really cool stuff. Thursday night School of the Mystics, which is our community aspect to what we're building here. We do prayer, meditation, and discussion on Thursday nights and also Sunday mornings. You get access to that. You also get access to our Discord community feed too, to be that's something that I always have open while I'm working, and we get to jump on there and have discussions and share. We stay connected throughout the week. So all of that stuff, I've made it worth your while. By any level of giving gets you access to different stuff, different perks, different tiers and rewards. So go check it out. You can go to TruthSeekah.com. You can partner there, or go directly to patreon.com/TruthSeekah. With that, I'm going to say peace and shalom, man. Thank you guys for hanging out. Many more to come. Thank you so much. Peace.
Your way so much higher than mine, so much higher than mine, so much deeper than mine, so much deeper than mine.
Well, that does it for this episode, folks. To hear more episodes of the TruthSeekah podcast, head over to TruthSeekah.com. And if you're wanting to support the show and get rewards, go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/TruthSeekah.